In March 2020, the UK went into full lockdown due to the global pandemic, meaning we weren't allowed to leave our homes for anything but exercise or essential food shopping. During this time, entertainment became incredibly important, and thankfully, Google stepped up to the plate, and everybody with a Google account got 2 months of free Stadia Pro subscription. I kept my subscription for a time after that point, for £8.99 a month, only ending it in February 2021, when I no longer had the money to pay for it. I have been using Stadia on and off since April 2020, and in June of last year, I made my first review based off those initial 2 months. But now, in May 2021, Google has had time to address a lot of the issues that I raised in that first review and evolve Stadia beyond an experiment and into a service, while of course making other big announcements. Welcome everybody, my name is Undergone, and this is my May 2021 Google Stadia review. So what is Google Stadia? Stadia is an online gaming platform which can turn any screen that you already own into a next-generation games machine. And this will be true for every generation moving forward due to Google's constant hardware updates. Stadia leverages Google's data centers, utilizing that immense server capacity to stream games to whatever device you so fancy, in quality of up to 4K, with frame rates of up to 60 FPS, and even with full HDR10 content. There are also views for even better quality and services in the future with the ever-upgrading data centers. It allows you to play current AAA games without having to outlay the cost of a new PC or console, and can be played wherever there is an internet connection, be that Ethernet, Wi-Fi, or mobile data. It has 2 versions available, either the free option or the paid-for Pro subscription that I mentioned earlier. And with either option, you can then digitally purchase titles to play anywhere. When I first picked up Stadia, my general gaming was performed on a PlayStation 4 Pro. To be able to play Stadia on my phone, to have it max out my phone's resolution, to have it load so much quicker, and to have higher frame rates in the games that I knew and loved, was a stunning first impression. It's an impression that hasn't really changed. And even now in May 2021, when I have a next-generation console in the PlayStation 5, Stadia is still one of the best general gaming experiences around. Sure, it's taken a bit of a back seat in more recent months. I was lucky enough to get the PlayStation 5 on launch, and as you can imagine, if you have a new toy, you want to play with the new toy. But I do still turn to Stadia, even with having next-generation hardware. So why? Initially, I had the Pro subscription. And like something like PlayStation Plus, Stadia Pro gives you an amount of free games or inclusive games per month. The quantity varies with Stadia, and you can go from 1 month of getting 3 titles to another month of getting 7. Whereas the aforementioned PlayStation Plus will always, at least at the time of recording, give you 3, with the odd occasion increasing to 4 games. For me personally, this has been great. From fun little indie titles like Monster Boy, which can even be played well with touch controls, to sequels on releases that I've been waiting for like Rock of Ages 3, to AAA sports titles like F1 2020, full AAA experiences like Hitman 1 and 2, through to exclusives like Just Shapes and Beats and Crater. In the last 12 months, Stadia has given me experience after experience across multiple different genres that I either couldn't afford otherwise, or wouldn't have even heard of. Coupled with the amazing benefits of 4K 60 HDR, these experiences made an otherwise dreadful year rather enjoyable. This has been one of my main draws to keep coming back to Stadia. It expands my gaming view and allows me to play whenever I want to, not just when the living room TV is available. I will turn to my phone or my tablet, boot up Stadia, and be in a game well within 30 seconds. The longest part is deciding what I actually want to play. And with the vast array of games acquired on the Pro subscription over the last 12 months, that choice can actually be quite difficult. Now, Stadia do offer their own controller for the system as well. It works via Wi-Fi with a direct connection to your Google account and their data centers. This offers the lowest input lag possible. Now, I don't have this controller, so I've been playing with either a DualShock 4, a Mogger MPX5, or a DualSense via Bluetooth, and I've not noticed any input lag at all. Playing Destiny on console or Stadia feels identical. Playing F1 on console or Stadia feels identical. Doom Eternal and Hitman are perfectly smooth, and when I pull the trigger, the gun shoots immediately. These are all games that require twitch reactions to succeed, and Stadia gives you that ability with or without their technically brilliant controller. Add in their excellent anti-cheat systems, and it makes things like Destiny's Trials of Osiris completely playable, competitive, and enjoyable when they are either barren across console or full of cheaters on PC. All of this combines to give one of the best multi-platform gaming experiences going. From its versatility in network connection and controllers to its buttery smooth moment-to-moment gameplay experience, it just screams quality in every new moment. Like anything though, there are drawbacks alongside the positives. I've already touched upon the fact that Google's Stadia service requires an internet connection at all times to work. For me personally, this is not a problem. I have 220 megabit broadband at home, and I have strong 5G within my local area, and that averages around 160 megabytes. As you can see from earlier videos on this channel, Stadia can also work all the way down to 3G mobile data, which tops out in the best areas at 15 megabits per second. Admittedly, to work on 3G, the service cuts both graphical quality and frame rate automatically, but it means that you can keep playing regardless. And when Xbox's cloud streaming service doesn't offer more than 640p gaming on Wi-Fi only, this is still a huge plus point for Stadia. Google have been gradually tweaking and improving the streaming experience, which was already incredibly good back in April 2020. And with an option to force a specific resolution now, as well as the option for automatic resolution based on your connection speed, this is the best scenario to allow Stadia to work to the best of its ability. But that doesn't help the people that live in the middle of nowhere or cannot get fast or reliable internet connections of any variety. As mentioned in many different videos on this channel, I live in the UK, and the UK's internet infrastructure, even in built-up cities, sucks. I work within the telecoms industry, and as such, I have a view of what the average wired internet speed is across the mainland UK. Now, when I give you this figure, bear in mind that I personally get 220 megabits per second, and there are people in this country who get over 1 gigabit per second. So remember that these particular figures, that only a few million households are on, will drag the average up quite drastically. With that in mind, across a population of 67 million people and roughly 28 million households, the average broadband speed in the UK is 22 megabits per second. As a comparison to that, my 4G mobile data speeds at peak times are faster than that. So it gives you an idea of how poor our home connections are. What that means is that the vast majority of possible Stadia users, even on a free trial, would have a really poor experience simply from network latency, a situation outside of Stadia's control. And I'm talking as if it is a single user per 22 megabit connection. Many homes will have multiple people all accessing the data at once, further impacting the game streaming experience. This challenge isn't just a situation that Stadia has to face. Amazon's Luna, Microsoft's xCloud, and Nvidia's GeForce Now all require a constant and fast internet connection to work. When you then add on Microsoft and Sony's remote play options that link directly to your console and can only work via Wi-Fi connections, it's a challenge for the modern world that internet service providers, as well as these tech corporations, have to overcome. We're now pretty much on the other side of an event that made the world stand still, and we realised that internet access is no longer a luxury, but a necessity for the modern world that we humans have created to keep turning. I hope that internet service providers and governments step up to the mark and put measures in place to improve their connected infrastructures. If they do, all internet-based services will improve. But with Stadia already having the best streaming setup out of all video game streaming providers, it puts it in a good spot to take control in a changing world. Stadia has two other challenges to overcome, both of which I raised in my previous review. But both of those situations have changed. Number one is games. As a gaming platform, you want games available for people to play. Back in April 2020, Google had a total of 60-ish titles on the platform, and not many 2020 AAA games. Fast forward 12 months though, and the platform now has over double that amount, with many more promised further down the line. AAA developers are releasing the biggest games on Stadia alongside other platforms, and have been for some time now. And there are now a few exclusives to the Stadia platform. The problem is, Google have shut down all Stadia first-party studios in 2021, meaning there are no first-party games coming to the platform in the near or far future. The situation that this creates is that there is nothing to differentiate Stadia from GeForce Now or Luna in terms of games. Nothing separates these platforms in terms of available exclusives. While Google does have a couple in Crater and Just Shapes and Beats, there's no others coming. And as far as I'm aware, Crater is a timed exclusive only, meaning it'll come to other platforms in the future. This doesn't put Stadia on the back foot, as Amazon's exclusive efforts have been notoriously pulled 6 weeks after launch and considered a flop, and GeForce doesn't have any at all. But that first-party studio was a differentiating factor that put Stadia more in line with the big three. When you consider that closure takes Stadia away from the PlayStation Xbox identity, and GeForce Now has access to Steam, Epic, and many other gaming libraries that you can stream and play anywhere, only having 120-ish third-party games on your platform, after more than 18 months of operation, makes you question what sort of service Stadia actually wants to be. As a comparison, Game Pass Ultimate, an optional subscription service from Xbox, has added more than 120 games to its console, PC, and streaming game options in the 5 months of 2021 alone. The PlayStation Network, which operates more akin to Stadia with purchasable games, has added more than 120 titles for all of its platforms, PS4, 5, and Vita, again in 2021 alone. So as good as Stadia's streaming experience is, there is still a lack of games on the platform, especially compared to the competition, and Google need to step up their acquisition of third-party titles if they are to compete long-term. Number 2 is cost. In my first Stadia review, I slammed Google for offering a 2-year-old AAA single-player game for the same price as the day it launched. At that time, Stadia had offered no sales, and because it is digital only, it was the only price that you could get this game at on the platform. Now, things have improved a little. There are constant sales running on Stadia at the moment, and if you're subscribed to the Pro offering, your savings are often 2 to 3 times as big as a non-Pro customer, paying said subscription back in a single purchase. If it is that you are only wanting to play 1 or 2 games per year, it's going to be better to buy them on Stadia and play them on any device that you already own, rather than purchasing an entirely new device for a single title. But Stadia's costs are still high. Cyberpunk, for example, a game completely lambasted for launching in an unfinished state and pulled from other digital marketplaces, is still £50. Hitman 2, another example of a 2-year-old AAA single-player game, is still £55. £30 for Monopoly, £50 for Sniper Elite 4, £25 for The Division 2. And these are all base game costs. This isn't taking expansions or deluxe editions into account to get all of the available content. The digital-only ethos of Stadia still holds it back in terms of cost to play compared to consoles that take physical media, as the second-hand market and market depreciation is something that those consoles can take advantage of. I said it last year. Quantity of games, quality of games, and cost of games. Get those three things right, and the rest will fall into place. It's not all doom and gloom for Stadia though. Yeah, okay, they've had a couple of hiccups over the first 18 months. But who hasn't in recent times? If you take their Pro subscription, you never need to buy another game with the offerings that they give you each month. And for £8.99, it's cheaper than any of the competition out there. They don't place limits on your playtime on the free version like GeForce Now does, and you don't need to pay a subscription to access any of the games like you do with Luna or xCloud. The streaming experience is the most robust and versatile of all the video game streaming options out there right now, and the platform allows developers to use full crossplay services, meaning you can play with your friends wherever they are playing. Stadia has many more positives than negatives, even after the closure of its first-party studio. While the negatives are quite big concerns, Google has a track record of working hard to take a concept from instigation to global domination, looking at Gmail and Android as prime examples. Stadia still lives after 18 months, longer than anything that is just a Google experiment. And the capital that Google have poured in and are pouring into it means it won't be abandoned anytime soon. It looks like it will have a Wear OS type revival soon enough, when Google partner with another gaming provider to suddenly massively bolster and improve their Stadia options. In the meantime, it is still the best video game streaming experience around, and the only one that I would recommend to anyone looking to get into gaming, with the added bonus of being for the lowest possible cost. In the meantime, guys, I would like to thank you all very much for tuning in. Please follow the normal drill. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps the channel out massively. You can also hit the bell for notifications of when new content goes live. And make sure to follow me on the socials from the links in the description below. Otherwise, your viewership is very much appreciated. And until next time, guys, have yourselves a fantastic day. And take care.